short essay for a question.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't know which school you went to, but there's also something called Brainsley writing. Because he keeps saying, I'm worried that, he doesn't garnish me with the same brush.
Just behind the marking and you guess that which one.
Hindi high school.
That's correct.
Yeah, it shows. That's very good school.
Let me try and switch gears now by coming from the central government to the state government. Almost everybody present here has read thousands of columns and stories following whatever transpired at Godhra and post-Godhra. Everyone has seen and heard enough in the visual media in this regard also. In fact, you two had shared Mr. Modi to bits on this score in a whole lot of your columns and on TV discussions. The Honorable Supreme Court and other investigating agencies are very closely monitoring the case and will finally decide on the quantum of punishment to those found guilty. I would like to read a small piece from what you have said, and I quote, "Let me begin with a set of disclosures. I have perhaps written more articles against Modi and his handling of the post-Godhra scenario than most people have. I have called him a modern-day Hitler, and I've always said that Godhra shall remain an enduring blemish, not just on him, but on India's political class. I still believe that what happened in Gujarat during the Godhra riots is something we as a nation will pay a heavy price for. But the fact is that time has moved on, as has Narendra Modi." Unquote.
No, read more. Because I then said that development.
I'm coming to that,
Yeah.
Suhel.
Yeah.
I'll let you speak.
You're like Barkha, you're quoting portions that are relevant to Barkha the people, but not we the people.
And this is where you are different from probably every other journalist or columnist in the country. You then go on to say a whole lot of things about the current day Modi. I will appreciate if in your own words you will share with the audience your experience of meeting him when you had come down for the YPO meet at Ahmedabad. And as I am given to understand, you even had a meeting with him earlier this afternoon. Over to you, Suhel.
I've known Narendra Modi from 1999. At that time, Vajpayee was going to fight the general election, and I was asked to advise Mr. Vajpayee on his brand campaign. I refused to work for the BJP. I said I don't, as a branding person, believe in political parties because I'm apolitical completely. I couldn't be bothered about BJP, Congress, any of these fellows. Narendra Modi and Arun Jaitley were my briefing clients on behalf of Vajpayee. And I remember my mother was visiting, and Narendra Modi and Jaitley would come to my house every evening at 4 p.m. where we'd draft the strategy, for the next day there would be press announcements and whatever. The only thing that impressed me about Narendra Modi was, and even Arun, was that whenever he'd come home, he'd make it a point to spend 15-20 minutes with my mother. Inquire about her health, talk to her, with compassion, with humility. And he wasn't big that time, he wasn't relevant, nothing. 2001, in October, Modi was sent to Gujarat. And in 2002, on the 24th of Feb, if my memory serves me right, he became an MLA and entered the Gujarat Assembly. And on the 27th of February, Godhra happened. I have 3 or 4 views on Narendra, which I will try and articulate. I genuinely believe that when something happens under your watch, you take responsibility. Which is why, when I wrote the earlier pieces, I said, and I've told him even this afternoon, because you need a Narendra Modi to run this country. A person like Narendra Modi. I'm not going to go like Anil Ambani and Sunil Mittal saying you only need Narendra Modi, but you need people like him. You need people who are clean, who are focused, who are developmental oriented, and who are passionate about their jobs. To my mind, Narendra Modi is the perfect icon of leadership in this country, in today's environment. I also believe that the media, for whatever reason, the so-called social activists, the so-called civil rights people, who I call limousine liberals, they're the ones who come in chiffon saris and exchange their Jimmy choos for Hawaii chappals, walk in the mud, come back, clean their shoes, their Hawaii chappals and get back into their Jimmy choos and drive back to the next kiddie party. So those guys got very upset, saying, this is Hindu, Muslims, blah, blah, blah. My concern, however, is as follows. I genuinely believe that Narendra Modi, to my mind, should have said, I'm sorry at what happened. That's it. I'm not guilty, and he isn't. It's not as if he went out in the streets and killed people. It's also not as if, to my mind, this was an inspired communal riot, much as the media would like to make it out to be. There was an incident, and there was a reaction to that incident. At least he wasn't like one prime minister who said, when a large tree falls to the ground, the earth shakes, and you had Sikhs being killed. So there are certain realities, to my mind, that should have been addressed. And I don't blame Narendra because he couldn't have addressed them at that time. Because the mood was vicious. The mood was anti-him. And the mood was singularly political. Where is he today? Today he's won election after election only for one reason. Because of the good that he's done. See, I'm a great believer. You lose elections because of the bad you do. But you only win elections because of the good you do. You don't ever win elections for the bad you do. So those guys who think they can promote communalism and win an election are wrong. Strategically, they're off the mark. To my mind, what Narendra Modi has done today is remarkable.